If you've been scrolling through endless lists of bookshelf speakers, reading specs that look like they belong on a spaceship, and still feel stuck wondering whether any of them will actually fit into the room you've got, you're not alone. I've sat at a kitchen island with a couple of friends, listening to movies on a tiny TV and trying to imagine what a proper full-range system would sound like in a living room that doubles as a home office. That indecision is exactly why I'm diving into the definitive technology bundle of two BP9040 bipolars and one CS9040 center channel today. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's get clear on what this bundle is trying to do. The BP9040s are meant to be your left-right front speakers, the kind of units that sit on a bookshelf or a small wall shelf. The CS9040 sits in the center, handling dialogue and any on-screen action that's supposed to come straight out of the screen. The idea is simple. You get a three-way home theater setup without having to hunt down separate parts, and you stay within a price range that most audiophiles consider mid-tier. Who should actually consider this bundle? If you already have a decent 5.1 or 7.1 system but find the front left-right channels lacking definition, or if you're building a new home theater from scratch and want a cohesive look without mixing brands, this could be a fit. The speakers are finished in a leather-like veneer that blends nicely with both modern and traditional decor, so they'll sit nicely on a bookshelf or be wall-mounted if you have the proper brackets. Because the three units share the same tonal signature thanks to Definitive's dynamic radiance concept, you won't get a jarring shift when the action moves from the side speakers to the center. This consistency is a real plus for anyone who watches a lot of dialogue-heavy movies or TV shows. On the flip side, skip this bundle if you're looking for a true floor-standing solution, or if you've got a room that's larger than 150 square feet and expect the bass to fill the space on its own. The BP9040s, while decent for their size, don't have the driver excursion that a larger cabinet would provide. You'll still need a subwoofer to get those deep rumble moments in an action film or a low-frequency musical passage. Also, if you're a serious audiophile who craves the absolute best in imaging and detail, you may find the BPM bipolar design a bit airy compared to a traditional sealed or ported bookshelf that can deliver tighter bass. In other words, the bundle is a solid middle ground but not a high-end benchmark. Let's talk about what you'll actually hear once you plug these in. The BP9040s use a 5.25-inch woofer paired with a 1-inch dome tweeter, and the bipolar array means the drivers fire both forward and backward. In a typical living room setting, that creates a wider soundstage without demanding a massive speaker layout. In practice, I noticed that a simple pop music track sounded pleasantly spacious. The vocals seemed to sit three-dimensional, and the instrument separation held up well even with a modest AV receiver. In movie scenes with dialogue spread across the screen, the center CS9040 kept the speech clear, even when background effects tried to push around the focal point. The timbre matched the side speakers well enough that you don't feel a sudden dip when a character moves from the right side of the screen to the middle. Where the bundle shows its value is in the ease of integration. All three speakers use the same binding posts, and the impedance is a friendly 6 ohms, which means most modern receivers will handle them without needing a separate external crossover. For someone who isn't a wiring wizard, the consistency reduces the chance of a mismatched load that could cause pop or distortion. The included mounting brackets for the center channel are sturdy, and the leather-like finish is resistant to fingerprints, a subtle but real daily convenience when you have children or pets around. Now for the practical drawbacks. The first thing you'll bump into is that the front speakers are not truly large. They're designed to sit on shelves that can accommodate a 5-inch driver. If you try to position them on a very low shelf, the tweeter can feel a bit high in the listening position, leading to a slight brightness in the high frequencies. The solution is to either raise the speakers or tilt them slightly downward using angled brackets, which adds a small cost and installation step. Another note, the BIP-OLA design, while great for spreading sound, can make the speakers sound a little washed out in very reflective rooms. That's the echo you might hear in a room with a lot of glass or hard floors. Adding a couple of acoustic panels or a rug can tame that effect, but it's an extra consideration if you're trying to keep the setup simple. A common concern is power handling. The BP9040s are rated at around 80 watts RMS, meaning you'll need a receiver that can deliver at